Wow. Why is this not capturing anything? There we go. Spray cat. What's up, Sonic? How you doing? You've just reminded me I've been meaning to do more Sonic Crossworlds. At some point in time. I've been meaning to. I haven't decided when I'm gonna do it, but I've been meaning to. Did I get plat? I haven't actually played Sonic Crossworlds probably since the last time I streamed it. I've had a lot going on. So yeah, I've been a little bit lazy in that respect. I've had a lot of catching up to do on a lot of different things. Arknights keeps dumping a whole bunch of stuff at me, so I'm kind of just like, what? Never played it off stream either. No, I haven't played it for, like I said, for a long time. I don't know when I will play it again. I will probably play it again at some point in time. I just don't know when. I'll get there eventually. What am I doing? I'm achievement hunting. Did a job. So yeah, I've definitely got work to do on playing it again. I don't know, I kind of I cycle through games. There's a lot of games that I kind of I enjoy them, but I don't play them. And there's not even a reason for it. I just, for whatever reason, don't play them. I know that probably sounds really weird, but... You're Alfarius? Heresy. What's going on, Shade? I think Tangle and Whisper debut in Crossworlds tomorrow? I thought they were already in there, or at least a part of me thought they were already in there. I think the only thing that would, like, 100% get me to go back to Crossworlds without a thought, like, just instinctively go back, is if they released, Styx. If they released Styx as a playable character, I would probably just play. That would be one thing that would definitely just get me to play. Doing some comparison shopping for a PC build, looking for some case fans that match the AAO, but he's not sure if he wants to go all white. Oh, you never go white. Never go white. White parts in a PC is the worst career choice you could ever make. I haven't actually played Crime Scene. Crime Scene Sim is a game, isn't it? I don't remember. I feel like it is. Alright, cool. We've done the achievement. Now we can just clean the rest of the place. It's a white interior already? See, that's a fool's mistake. Everybody knows that the white parts are more expensive for no reason at all. Crime Scene Cleaner. Ah, yeah, I know what Crime Scene Cleaner is now. I've just had my memory jogged. I should play that. I just bought Stellar Blade. I might do Stellar Blade next week. Depending on how releases go for games and stuff. Because there's new content for Enfield coming, and I'm not sure if it's going to be like Lock the Sanity, or if it's going to be something that I can just kind of do. If it's something that I can just kind of do, maybe I'll play some Enfield next week, but if it's not, if it is Lock to Sanity, then there's no fucking point. It's just going to be one of those things that I'm just like, well, this is life now. This is yet another thing that I'm fucking wasting sanity on that I don't have any sanity. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just play Stellar Blade next week. I have at least one group that's near level cap. I haven't pushed them to level cap because I've been exclusively working on raising other people, but it wouldn't take me long to sort of divert the resources. Like, it'd only take me a couple of days to divert the resources to turn it into a level cap group. I could just finish my physical squad. Use that. Part of me just wants to, like, seeing as how there's not really any difference between squads at the moment, like weaknesses, part of me just wants to give up and raise an ice squad and just use the ice squad. The reason I didn't raise an ice squad was because you kind of needed Yvonne, and I was never expecting to get Yvonne, because I was never expecting to, like, I wasn't going to roll on Yvonne. But I got her from the Angie 50-50, so... Now I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe I should. Given that the ice team is the strongest team in the game at the moment. I'd say once the next grouping comes out, once the next 6-star comes out, if it's who I think it's going to be, because I don't think it's actually been announced who it is yet. I think the next 6-star is going to be Lightning. So... I think the next 6-star will be Lightning. Yeah, fire damage. Fire team has the best AoE. Like I said, though, at the moment, it doesn't, like, the weaknesses don't really vary. Like, they do, but it's not enough that it, you know, you could bring a resistance weak team and you probably wouldn't really notice it. I imagine that will change down the road, but... Maybe I should get Crime Scene Cleaner. Maybe we should play some Crime Scene Cleaner. Instead of this, just as a change. There's a few little silly novelty games that I'm waiting to come out. That just... I don't know what's happening with them. They're just not coming. And I don't know... I don't think they've been cancelled, but they must be just being made by, like, one person. Or 2 people or something. Like, it just garage work, so... It's a bit of a shame. I am looking forward to them, but I was hoping they'd be out by now. One of them was supposed to come out at the end of last year and never did, so I don't know what's going on. That I can play for these little streams where I just want to kind of chill and relax and everything else. Speaking of chilling and relaxing, where is my music? I want to turn that up a little bit because that's really quiet. That's funny you mentioned a 40k game. 40k Tacticus has got 3 new factions coming this year. Black Legion is due first. Black Legion is due, like, in the coming months. Maybe this month? Either this month or next month. Then they have... I think it's Eldar? Maybe? No, I don't think it is Eldar, because I think I was whinging that it was Eldar. Hang on, let me have a look. Where's my Steam? Battle sector. Black Legion, Ultramarines, and something else. They haven't announced it, it's just listed as new faction. I'm hoping it's Eldar. So I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, they were looking for people to playtest Black Legion. They could definitely do a lot of good work with that game if they stopped being lazy with faction releases. Like, don't get me wrong, this is the first time they've gone, yeah, we're releasing 3 in a year. Like, it's usually been 1 per year, so, I mean, this year is like, oh, turbo overcharge mode, but, it's, if they released, like, a new faction every quarter, it would be amazing. I think Tacticus would, not Tacticus, sorry, Battle Sector would be a lot more popular than it is if they did actually put, like, a lot more work into it. And I don't mean that as in, like, the level of content they do, I mean the amount of content. Because the content they release tends to be pretty good. Like, I have very rarely complained about a faction that's been released. Like, if I have a complaint, it's usually this tiny little fucking superficial complaint that I've come up with, you know? It's usually a complaint for the sake of complaining. There is that, but that's more of a balancing issue. That's not really, like, a content complaint. I mean, like, although we are going to go back to the sisters, how the penance engines have, like, a male character in them. And it's literally, like, the only male character in the whole fucking roster. And I sort of sit there and I'm like, there's this really unreal art. If you go to the 40k wiki and you do, you know, a search for the penitent engine, you'll see this artwork there of, like, a female in a big flowing robe wired into one of these things, and it's like, it's gorgeous art if you know, take away what the penitent engine is. And to me, I think that would have been a better choice to have like a full all-female roster than just to have a token male on the team. Because, you know, a lot of people do, rightfully so, whether, you know, law-related or otherwise, a lot of people do rightfully so say that, you know, 40k is a male-dominated universe. That, you know, we're not gonna touch representation in the game because, you know, Astra Militarum, yeah, there's plenty of females. You know, Eldar is a mixed species, Tau's a mixed species. You know, we're not gonna like exclude representation like that because the Space Marines, the Astartes, are the poster childs of 40k. You know, so that's just something you have to accept and work around when you make these sorts of statements. But like when somebody offers up the sisters, to me, like that is your excuse to just go all female. Like it's the excuse that everybody wants to throw an all female faction in there. Like, yes, the Penitent Engine does have males in it. Like, you know, it's a pretty universal device. But to me, like when I think of Penitent Engine, that artwork you see on the 40k wiki, that sits in my head rent-free 100% of the time because it is gorgeous art. And I think they should have designed the Penitent Engine after that because that is, to me, that is what it is. I think that was a dropped ball. So like those are the sorts I have, which are really superficial complaints. In the grand scheme of things, like if that's my biggest complaint of a game, yeah, there's not much wrong with it really. No, they use it for like, well, I mean, yes, but they also use it for like clerics and stuff like that who have done bad things. They'll also hammer in like political people in there if they've done something contrary to the Imperial Creed. It's a pretty universal device. I don't think those people... No, I don't think the Penitent Engine is a wish to repent. I think those are more lined up with Repentia. I think they're called Repentia. The Penitent Engine is kind of just a punishment tool. And then they have like a worse version of it, with the sarcophagus on the front. Yeah, no, the Penitent Engines are just a tool, really. They're not really a willful choice, I don't think, most of the time. I think I've done a good job on the edge of these pillars. I always find huge hunks of dirt in there, and it's just like, man. I did get Stellar Blade though, yeah. $100 for the Ultimate Edition. Still more than I want to pay for a game that's, what, 3 years old now, but... I presume I will enjoy the game. I presume. I'm hoping I enjoy the game. I'm hoping I enjoy $100 worth of game, I guess. Yeah, but it was out on... What was the PS5 release date? PS5 release date wasn't 2025. Yeah, so nearly 2 years old. My greedy little Korean children. I don't typically push for 100% of a game unless I, like, really, really enjoy it. Typically. Based on the main character of Stellar Blade, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it a lot. Maybe. I'm a bit past, Bit past my Gooner phase of main characters, if I'm honest. It's been a long time since a main character sold it for me on looks alone. How do you get past the Gooner phase? I don't know how you get past it. I think you just eventually get to the point where it's just not really all that interesting anymore. You know how you get past it? You know how I think you get past it? You play gacha games. That way you can't be a Gooner because typically you can't get everyone. That's what I wrote. Why is Botrix sending messages twice? There's always something. You play gacha games. That way, like, you've got to pick and choose your waifus. Too many waifus in gacha games will destroy your waifus. I mean, I've also been hypercritical of games for a long time. So, I mean, I don't know if that's got anything to do with the Gooner phase, but... it might, because, you know, what good is a Gooner main character when the game itself is slop? I raise you these questions. What's up, Zaki? What up? Not much. Not much at all. We are apparently talking about Gooner phases. Apparently. I don't know how we got here, but this is where we're at. Anthem wasn't a slop game. Anthem a slot fucking company behind it. I don't even think I can blame the Anthem team for its disaster. I genuinely stand by the fact that EA ruined that game. Like, every decision that... Everything that went wrong with Anthem, I believe is on EA, not the development team. Because I have seen no real indication that Anthem would have failed if not for EA being EA. Anthem could have been fixed so easily. And now it stands as a testament to people not listening. Because EA has continued to just do the same thing as they did with Anthem. In all their releases. Yeah. And everybody seems to have forgotten what they did to Anthem, which is really, really interesting to me. Like, it's incredibly interesting to me that people don't seem to remember what companies like EA and Activision do. Like, as soon as a new game comes out, everybody seems to just forget about it. It's really interesting. You know, instead of psychologists studying, like, what sort of impacts games have on people, like, you know, psychological or social or that sort of stuff, they should be studying, like, the effects of how people just forget they were burned. It's really curious, honestly. Like, if I'm no psychologist, but if I was doing a psychology degree, I would be doing my thesis on that. Like, for the end of my psychology degree, that would be what my thesis is on. Which, you know, was not a thing when I was at the age where I would have been studying a psychology degree, you know, because I would have been a lot younger. So EA would still be a somewhat decent company. They'd still have a moral compass, let's say. I don't know if EA was ever a decent company, but... If you get burned alive, you don't remember it? Apparently not. But yeah, like if I, right now, like if I were a young strapping lad, take notes anybody who's doing fucking psychology degrees. If I were a strapping young lad studying psychology, that is what I would do my thesis on. Because it would be so easy to make your point. Because all you've got to do is prove, like, defend yourself. And it's not really hard to defend yourself when you've got, you know, generations of fucking evidence supporting your claim. That people just don't seem to remember every time they get fucking shot. Or burnt, or whatever. Can confirm you do not want to touch fire, Sonic. No touching fire. Fire is bad for you. As your local moral verb person can confirm, don't touch fire. No secret rings either. No fire at all. Fire bad. Even if you play Sonic 3, don't get the fire shield. It'll stitch you up eventually. It will burn you eventually. It's just funny. I think they were. Someone was trying to get like an offline version of Anthem that I think they were going to work on, kind of like what they're doing with Turtle WoW, except you know World of Warcraft is not offline. But I think someone is planning on doing a dodgy and sort of trying to revitalize the mistakes made and continue it going. Which is going to be interesting to watch because, like all good things, the big company will step in and probably tell them that they can't do it. You know, despite the fact that the big company threw it away. It's kind of funny. It's sad and funny at the same time. Like, I'm sorry, if you end of life a game and somebody else wants to fucking pick that game up and keep working on it, in my opinion, you shouldn't have, as long as you acknowledge that the game is foundationally made by whoever it's made by. Like, you don't try and claim the foundation of the game. You just claim any work that precedes the death of the game. Which is fair. I'm sorry, man. You shouldn't have a leg to stand on. You ended life that game. You gave up on it. Fucking deal with the consequences of your actions. Maybe don't be shit. You know? The problem is you've got these huge companies that try and fucking gouge people for money all the time. Like EA. and they end of life a product, or they do something that ruins the product, and then somebody else picks it up and does something successful with it. Like, I'll use Turtle Wow as an example of this. Like, Blizzard themselves said, you don't want vanilla World of Warcraft. They released vanilla World of Warcraft, and everybody loved it. Everybody who makes private World of Warcraft servers, they're always vanilla World of Warcraft, usually. Or vanilla plus. And everybody loves it. Like, the evidence contradicts the statement, and has been proven to contradict the statement. But whenever somebody does it successfully, like they do what people actually want as opposed to what the company believes they want, and even then, it's not what the company believes. It's the company wants to make money, so the company makes executive decisions to gouge money from players. It's got nothing to do with wants or needs. What you want doesn't matter. It's literally what the company can get out of you, what you get, you fix. Because you're a little game junkie. Yeah. And then, you know, like Turtle Wow, then you've got Blizzard going after Turtle Wow because they're successful. It's just like, well, you know, if you made a successful game, maybe people would be playing it, but you don't. You play games where mounts cost fucking $80 or $100 or whatever the fuck they cost. It's just a wild duality, you know? And it bothers me that people don't actually talk about it too. Like, yeah, there are people who do talk about it, but they're largely outspoken. They're very largely outspoken. Especially when you've got people like fucking... I don't even remember what that streamer's name was. He's a big streamer, but I mean, I'd never heard of him before he started talking about it. The guy who wanted Arc Raiders to win Game of the Year? I don't actually know what his name is. I've got no idea who he is. Thank you for the hydrate. And then he got like really upset because he didn't want Expedition 33 to win it. And then he got really upset when Arc Raiders didn't win it. And you've got people like that who exist in massive echo chambers of their audiences, because obviously, you know, an audience is going to be an audience is going to attract to the sort of person they want to interact with, all right? Like, you're not going to listen to me if all you do is fucking disagree with what I say. If everything I say is just like, you hear it and you're just like, nah, man, this cunt's full of shit, like, you're not going to fucking tune in every week, are you? He was a flashy. Shroud? I think it might have been Shroud. Yeah, he got very upset because it didn't win Game of the Year. Arc Raiders is a good game, but it's not a Game of the Year game. I'm sorry. But that's kind of the issue, is that you've got people like that who vote. Who have huge communities of echo chambers, who just... None of them have any critical thinking. They all just sort of amp each other up. Like, it's not a good way to raise, like, that's again just my opinion. I mean, maybe you want the echo chamber community, but I don't think it's good to have a community that just wholly agrees with everybody, you know? Like, everybody just agrees with one another, and it's just, that's the way it is. I think Arc Raiders is a good game. I absolutely think Arc Raiders is a good game. What am I doing? Bigfoot target. But yeah, again, I don't feel like I would ever describe it as Game of the Year. What game did I want for 2025 Game of the Year? I think Expedition 33 deserved it. What were the options? Hang on, let me have a look at what the options were for Game of the Year. Let me have a look at the list. Silk Song. I would, yeah, no, as much as I want to say Silk Song, I would say Expedition 33 just because it's more accessible for people. Like, Silk Song is... I don't know. Yeah, I would have either said Silk Song or Expedition 33. But I feel like because Silk Song is an Australian game, I feel like I'm a little bit biased towards Silk Song, whether I feel like I am or not. I think, like, you tell me Expedition 33 won, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, you know what, that sounds reasonable. Like, I'm not gonna argue with it. I think Silk Song deserves credit, but I don't think it deserves Game of the Year credit. I think it more deserves, like, I guess you'd call it cultural credit. Where, like, the game came out, it was affordable, it was a good game. Like, I feel like Silk Song deserves the credit it gets because it did what games are supposed to be. Not because it's really a game of the year. Not to say that it's not a good game, it's just... I'm not sure that what Silk Song did deserves Game of the Year. Like, it deserves recognition for being the benchmark of what games should be. Which I guess you could say is higher credit than Game of the Year, like, because, like I said, it's more of a cultural thing, but... I don't know. I feel like Silksong deserves something different. Now, again, if Silksong had have won Game of the Year, I wouldn't have been like, oh, it doesn't deserve it. It would have been another one of those games where I was like, yeah, you know what, that sounds reasonable. Look, I'm inclined... I don't know how I feel about AI, because it's AI. Was it AI voice? What AI did it use? I don't know how I feel about that sort of AI. Like voices, like they use in Arc Raiders, for example. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I haven't sort of decided where I stand on AI. Like, if the final product had no AI in it, then, I mean, that's probably a bit unfair, but... I don't know. I don't know where I stand on AI. I've always been under the impression that AI should be used to make a job easier, not replace people. So, I mean, as long as AI is being used for that reason, to make a job or a task easier, I don't have an issue with it. I only have an issue with AI if it's straight up replacing people. So, like, Arc Raiders, for example. Like, again, I don't have anything against Arc Raiders, but to me, I feel like using AI voices instead of real people is lazy. Because, again, it's replacing people, and, like, there's a million fucking voice actors out there that would happily record the handful of lines that they require in the game. So, you know, because that replaces a role, I don't really like it. But see, I can see how that would be misconstrued, because, like, just for example, like, I watch a lot of lore videos and stuff, for example, right? And a lot of those lore videos sometimes stretch on into the hours. And so what you'll get is you'll just get somebody who's done, like, an AI voiceover, which is something that I've considered doing for the videos that I do. Now, I don't have an issue with that because it's somebody making their own job easier. Like, if I just, for my videos, my personal videos, for example, if I were to get an AI voiceover, that's not removing somebody's job. Like, that is my job to do that. Now, if I hired somebody else to voice my videos, then I would say, look, that's not okay. Because, again, I'm replacing somebody's position. But, you know, the only position I'm replacing is mine, and I do all the rest of the work. So, you know, for me to use an AI voice, that's not an issue. Like, it's the same thing for anybody who makes... Exactly. So, like, if I... Exactly, Shay. If I were to, like, use an AI voiceover for my videos, for example, that would cut out 3 to 4 hours of just voice editing. Just voice editing. That's making my job easier. It's not replacing anybody because, like I said, it's me who'd be doing it anyway. It's just, it's one of those things, like, I feel like there's a very fine line on it. And I don't want to be that guy that's like anti-AI. Like AI, I've always stood by the fact that AI has its uses. Why not have the voice? Have you ever had AI edit something? AI has a very bizarre way of doing things. AI for editing is largely unreliable. And the other thing is, like, a lot of the time when I record these voice lines, for example, sometimes I might want to add extra space between voice lines and stuff. Like, these are things that I would still have to go back and do anyway. So, you know, that particular facet of the work is not something I would be able to AI-ify. I don't know what the word is. Outsource. Is that a bird? It is a bird. What's up, Rags? And the other problem with that idea is, to Sonic, if I still have to personally record it, and the recording process, like the editing process, takes me 3 to 4 hours, right? Then me recording it is another 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. So I would still need to do that. Like, if I misspeak, if for, like, today, for example, where my voice is wrecked, maybe I'll have to do 3 takes of the same paragraph, every paragraph or more. You know, sometimes your eyes read one thing and your brain decides it's another, you know, and then you've got to re-record it. Sometimes you just write something and for whatever reason your brain won't process it, so it takes you 6 fucking attempts to get it done. You know, it's that sort of thing. So you have to pick and choose your battles if you're going to use AI to edit things. But yeah, AI tends to not edit things well because AI isn't human, so it doesn't do things in a human fashion. Like, have you ever asked AI to sort of edit something? Like, if you give AI, I don't know, like a script, for example, and you ask AI to edit it or summarize it or anything like that, it tends to spit it back out in very weird English. I don't even know how you would describe it, because I want to describe it as like corporate speak, but it's not even corporate speak. It's really strange English. Like, what it says is not wrong, but at the same time it's not right. So, like, for example, when I do my scripts, right? When I draft my scripts, I draft them literally as though I'm speaking to you or anybody else. So there's, you know, it's not written in a way where I'm sitting here like just speaking like I'm reading bullet points. I'll actually write it as it, you know, just me talking off the cuff. So I don't know how you'd explain that. Like, I will actually physically write verbal remarks that I have at the time when I'm writing. Whereas if you were writing a set script, you wouldn't include those verbal remarks. Like, even in Word, which is what I use to write it in, like, Word gives me the little blue underline telling me that it's you know, it could be not used or it could not be spoken that way. Like, AI kind of uses that sort of standard when it edits things. Like, it removes the human element from it and just makes it clinical. Clinical is still not the word I want, but it's probably the best adjective I have. And like, if I feed that into an AI to edit, for example, and this is just the script, I know you were talking about like my own voice, like editing the vocal part of it. But like, if I were to edit that into a script, throw that script into an AI to edit, what happens is the AI removes all my remarks and stuff. It'll shorten everything down to what is absolutely necessary. It talks very clinically, and no human being talks that way. Like, even if you write an assignment, like, this is how you can tell if somebody's thrown an assignment into AI. It'll always be so matter of fact that it's just not funny. Like, it'll just be emotionless facts. It's the easiest way to tell if somebody's thrown something into an AI. People generally just don't write that way. Unless they're writing in, you know, point form, in which case, you know, sure. But standardly, if people are writing long form, they will not write like that. It's a horrible way to write. You can work around it. Like, there are AI prompts that you can use to work around it, but even then, those are, you know, you have to cycle them a few times before it gets it right. And by the end of the day, once you've done it all, it's kind of like, well, I could have just done this myself and it would have been quicker, or it would have taken me just as long. That's what I mean by, I think that AI needs to be used to improve the quality of people's lives, not replace their lives. Like, some people just think AI is a fix-all to just work. And in many cases it is, but there's just as many cases, like, if you are doing a job which requires a human element and you ask an AI to do it, it will fail 10 out of 10 times. Because AIs just, they don't work that way. They're not designed to work that way. They are designed to function to the ladder. And typically when you prompt them to try and explain something in a more human way, or write something, format something in a more human way, they struggle to do it. especially with the amount of crap that they use to pass the actual language onto people. You usually get some fucking amalgamation of God knows what. And then, like I say, you've then got to read over the whole thing again yourself, and by the time you're done, you may as well have just done it yourself. So, yeah. So having an AI, like, using... So what I would like to do is find an AI which I can use to record my own voice. Like, there's plenty of text-to-speech things that exist already that record people's voices. You say a few voice lines, it copies your tone and your inflections and that sort of stuff. And then just use it as text-to-speech. So, now, here's the glorious part about that, which is kind of the funny irony of everything. People then sit there and they go, oh, you know, using AI, that's horrible. I'm using an AI to copy and mimic my voice. I could just use any text-to-speech generator, which have existed for decades. But I don't. I want to use an AI to mimic my voice. That's the only thing I want the AI to do, is mimic my voice. The rest of it is literally text-to-speech, which I can do fucking Windows has text-to-speech in it, and has had it since, like, Windows 98. Like, it's not new technology. But, you know, the second you use the word AI, people get funny about it. The difference is, like I say, the AI can mimic your inflections, whereas text-to-speech just tends to be purely grammatical based. So if you don't put any real grammar in, it'll just be flat the whole way through. So yeah, like I said, that would cut, I don't know, 6 hours of work. Sort of depressing. Part of my original degree was aimed at teaching people how to create usable stereo and furniture assembly instructions in the fewest number of pages. At least that's a large number of technical editors ended up doing. It's just, I think AI has been stigmatized really badly, and I know why, and I agree with why. The problem is anybody who wants to use AI for the right reasons these days just gets dragged down and fucking raked through the mud really badly. And I don't think that's fair. Because AI does have good uses. It just, because of the stigma around it, nobody wants to listen to those anymore. Like, everybody's just like, oh, AI bad. Where it's not true. AI is not inherently bad, just like automation is not inherently bad. The problem is that we use well, not we, but typically big companies use it as a means to narrow, not narrow, engorge profit margins. And as the majority of people are obviously, you know, blue collar, we see the problems. Now, don't get me wrong, there are just as many people who use it just to be, you know, purely lazy. But, and obviously I can see why that would be perceived as really bad, but, you know, it's not always the case. AI, not inherently bad. I think, you know what I think it was that actually started off like the genuine AI bad thing is that they were using it for artists. Like they were using AI to skim artists off, like artist work, and that is what started it. I think that's probably how the AI bad motion started. And you know what? It's hard to argue with that, honestly. You can't really argue with that. Because that definitely was a low point. Because to me, like, I'm old enough to have seen, you know, the process of automation come in. And this to me, and I'm sure Shade will probably say the exact same thing, like, AI to me is kind of the same as what automation was to, you know, my parents. Like, everybody says it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, and yes, the way it will be executed will be really bad. Not going to take that away from anyone, but you know, the concept behind it, the idea of making work easier for everybody involved. I mean, it's a good idea. The fine details of the point are good. Because, you know, however long ago it was when automation was just starting to become a thing, like just mundane robots was starting to become a thing, you know, everybody was like, oh, you know, nobody will have jobs soon because the robots will be taking our jobs. And this is back in the day where, you know, a robot was just a little fucking robotic arm that used to pick things up and fucking wiggle them around. What's going on, Sophie? How was playing your samurais? Welcome in, Raiders. Oh. Thank you for the rezavi.
Sophia_Ignosi just subscribed for 30 months.
You're at the end of the game? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. You had to stop the last one because you were gonna break the controller. You know what? That's a good reason. That's fair. My head pads don't work at the moment because I'm using a PNG, but I appreciate the sentiment. It's the thought that counts. But yeah, unfortunately, no matter what I do, like, I'm pretty sure if I were to use the AI like I want to use it, I'm pretty sure I'd be bastardized for it. So I don't know if I will. Like, it's kind of one of those catch-22 things. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. How's the game? The game is good. I like doing PowerWash Sim. It lets me use Yap. Lets me just talk shit. And I enjoy just talking shit. I would probably genuinely enjoy just doing just chatting streams more often, but maybe one day. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's better than the first one. They quality of life the hell out of it, so it is definitely better than game one. They did everything right in this sequel. They took the first game, they quality of life everything that they needed to quality of life out of it. Made all the improvements they needed to, and yeah, it's good. I approve. Verb approves. They did change the control scheme though, which is a little bit funny, but other than that. I think there is an option where you can turn it back to the old control settings, but yeah. That is the only real complaint I have, is that they changed the controls. So I do sometimes find myself pressing the controls of the first game. But, I mean, if that's my only complaint, then you know what? I don't have a lot to complain about. If that's my only complaint, then so be it. Welcome back, Rags. I think the other thing is that, like, the only reason I really want to swap to using, like, an AI for that particular reason is because I am strapped for time. Like, it's really hard to commit to those 6 hours. Like, and that's just audio and audio editing. Is that 6 hours. Like, there's other work that I need to do that takes, again, like, another 4 to 6 hours, depending on the video length. So, like, all up, we're talking a full day's work. Which could be cut down to a half day's work with the help of AI. What'd you miss? We are talking about AI. Uses in content creation, but yeah, just AI in general as well. What could be perceived as correct uses of AI? Assistive. No, not generative, just assistive. We did touch base on some generative stuff, but no. The main topic is assistive AI. In reality, AI overall was a major step in human ingenuity, but with how people get with it, it's dragging us back down. It is. Stretch. It is. Unfortunately, too many people rely on it for everything, which is... I think that's more of a human problem than an AI problem, honestly. Assistive AI, if used in moderation and not relied on extremely, it could be an amazing tool. Yeah. I believe so as well. It's just unfortunately, like we mentioned while you were away, like unfortunately, like corporations and stuff, like big companies tend to use it a lot heavily. Like, let's have a look at Microsoft at the moment, who does, you know, what is it, like 40% of Windows code is AI generated now? How many problems does Windows have these days? It'd be super helpful for some people being autistic. I've found assistive AI to be a massive help on your I have found assistive AI to be massive help to my executive functioning. Yeah, so I shouldn't say most, because that is not true. A large portion of Windows coding is done by AI in India now. I'm not even sure that Windows, like Microsoft itself, does the coding. I think it might be done by like subcontractors. I have no evidence to back that up, but I mean, having worked as a human being for long enough, like, that is what natural common denomination tells me. Once you see how the system works for long enough, you tend to be able to identify how things go if it's going poorly enough, and typically subcontractors are the way it goes. Usually, if there's a problem, it's a subcontractor problem. What happened to my chat box? Oh, so because I simulcast rags, I have to use this really funny means to get both chats in the same chat box, YouTube and Twitch. And for whatever reason, in the last 12 months, it has just not been agreeing with me. It's been doing its own thing, and I don't know how to fix it. I mean, it was a very tenuous method I used to get it to work in the first place. So it was probably only a matter of time before it happened, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to fix it, because like I said, it was tenuous to get it to work in the first place. It required a lot of finagling, and it should have been working, and it wasn't working, and I kept finagling it, and it eventually started working. I just went, it's working, I'm leaving it alone. And then, yeah, a little while ago, I don't know, I don't think it's been a year, I think it's only been about 6 months. 6 months ago, it just stopped working properly, and now I'm just like, well, not really sure how I'm gonna fix this again. I don't know how I got it working in the first place. So yeah, that's the story of my chat. Until I know how to fix it, I'm just gonna leave it alone because I don't want to break it further. Hey Rob, how you doing? I believe AI... I hadn't even honestly thought about it like that though, so I'll be real with you. Which is, you know, I suppose not really surprising that I wouldn't really think about how it would affect people with like autism or ADHD or something. Imagine a normie not thinking about how something would affect somebody with autism. Would not be me, ha ha ha. Need a stool. Seems like a job I could actually do. I could probably do it if my back wasn't fucked. I can't stand up for long periods of time. So yeah, I couldn't do it. Let's shove this over here. But no, I have... It's really hard for me. I mean, I'm a small content creator, so it doesn't really matter at the moment anyway. But like, if I were a bigger content creator, it'd be a really awkward thing because, you know, I sit here and I'm like, well, I'm not against AI, but at the same time, I don't think that AI needs to be like that. And these days, if you say something like that, people just take it as you're either this way or you're that way. Like, heaven forbid you be on the fence about something. And at the same time, like Sophie said, if it's something that makes somebody's life easier and it doesn't actually hurt anybody, I'm against it, honestly. Like I said, my only real issue is when it starts replacing people. That's when I have issues with it. But yeah, automation did the same thing. Automation removed a lot of jobs. I mean, it was always going to happen again. It'll happen again, whatever comes next after AI. It's, you know, it's just the way it works, unfortunately. We make lives easier, and the consequence is that people lose jobs. It's, you know, that's kind of like the unfortunate fallout of it all. I think we should be protecting people's jobs where we can. Honestly. It's not gonna happen that way. Like, I know it's not gonna happen that way. You know it's not gonna happen that way. Everybody knows it's not gonna happen that way. But, you know, in a perfect world, that is how it would happen. We would use it carefully, tentatively. Since Amazon started using AI for customer support, it's sadly been easier to get actual real answers though. A few times I've needed to talk to a person, you can't seem to get a real person. I mean, do you know what an interesting thing is? I don't know what it's like in America. I don't know what it's like in New Zealand. I imagine New Zealand is very similar to Australia in this particular facet, but in Australia, I don't know where the nearest bank is. I think I know where it is, but I don't know where the nearest bank is. Like, if there was some massive outage, right, and I desperately needed money, like physical cash, I don't know where the nearest bank is. I have no fucking clue. Because all the banks closed down. Like, I know there's still banks in capital cities, for example. But I don't live anywhere near a capital city. Yeah, so for whatever reason, the electronic payment systems we use go down and I need physical cash, like, I need a constant supply of physical cash. I don't know where I would get it. Like, I don't think there is one in my nearest city, just as an example. I think I would need to travel for... The only place I know where there is a bank, just a bank, not even my bank. The only place I know where there is a bank for sure is an hour away from me. Yeah, an hour. 45 minutes if I was able to get like a good run. As far as the bank I'm with is, there is not even one in my state, I don't believe. I don't believe my bank has a branch in my state. So if I were to drive, I would need to drive, you know, 10 plus hours. Or I could fly. Which I wouldn't be able to because I would need money. And I wouldn't be able to drive because I wouldn't have physical cash to drive because I'd need petrol. I do not keep emergency cash. Because in Australia, not a lot of people like dealing with cash. Target platform steps. Yeah, no, over here they push for as much cashless as possible. The only people who take cash over here really, like, happily take cash are, like, tradies. Because depending on the job, they don't charge it, so they don't, like, have to put in for tax. It's just cash in pocket. I suppose I'll do the fun house. mini roller coaster takes a long fucking time. Yeah, no, that's the only reason people don't... Those are the only people who don't take cards in Australia or checks or anything like that. Are the people who... Typically, like, tradesmen who can just not report it as, like, job. So that way they don't have to claim it on tax. Which is fine. Well, I'm sure the fucking ATO doesn't think it's fine, but I think it's fine. You're being attacked by a puppy? No, ow. I might take this ad break to actually go to the loo. I will hydrate in a minute when the ad break starts, because I will go to the loo and everything. Are you being attacked by a puppy? Attack the puppy back. Return attack the puppy. Yeah, house sitting for a friend. Wasn't during your birthday? Wait, it's your birthday? Technically it was yesterday now? Oh my god, happy birthday, Ragu. What the hell, man? If I had a little popper thing to pop and go yay and cheer and shit, I would use it, but I don't. I should look into that. When people have birthdays or happy events they want to share with me, I can use the little popper and the yay. Alright. I will be back in a quick sec. return. I have a nibble. I have some, like, $200, $300 bottles of whiskey lying around somewhere. Pour you some of that if you want, right? Some of the top shelf shit. Hey, I have a bottle of something that I'm saving for, like, whenever my kid is born. So, don't worry about that. Get rags. I used to be a big drinker. I have bottles of a lot of different stuff lying around from when I used to drink. Which probably means it's been sitting there aging for even longer than it already is. Hell, I have this bottle of fucking Canadian stuff. It is fucking beautiful, by the way. I think it's $240 a bottle. And it has been sitting there since like 2006. So it's already aged, however long it's been aged, probably 18 years or something, and then I've got, yeah, 240 Australian. But that was back, you know, back when I bought it, so inflation eats your heart out. Yeah, I mean, that's been sitting there just living its best life for, I don't know how many fucking years now. A lot of years. 20 years. 20 years it's been in the bottle, just sitting there fucking chilling out. So it's probably nearly 40 years old, given it's probably 18-year-old to start with. Get a shot of that into your rags. That'll fucking put hair on your teeth. Good stuff. I love it. I actually really do like it. It is probably, and I was never a big whiskey drinker, but it is. I was a bourbon drinker, but it is probably the favorite whiskey I've ever had. And yes, I am aware that bourbon is just a different flavor of whiskey. No. Don't any of you fuckers actually me. This stuff is really sweet, which is probably why I like it. It's not like super... It's sweet for a whiskey, let's say that. Sadly, I don't have any, like, Baileys or anything lying around. I don't actually know how well Baileys would fucking like, survive, honestly. I don't think Baileys would survive 40 years. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you could probably use that stuff as disinfectant. But no, outside of that, I've got, like, newer stuff. I have stuff that's only, like, 20 years old. That hasn't even been opened, which is probably the funnier part of it. It's just sitting there chilling out. I was gonna learn to do that when I was a big drinker. I was gonna start to try and do my own beers. I wasn't gonna do spirits, I was gonna do beer. I was gonna try and make a hobby out of it, but I never did. I still probably could make a hobby out of it. Just means that I would have to find somebody to sell it to, as opposed to drinking it myself. Oh, I'm sure I couldn't sell alcohol either, but, you know, fucking cash in hand. Cash in hand, sorry guys, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see any receipts, I don't see any proof of purchase. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where he got it from. You know, the giant magpie symbol on the bottle, guys, totally isn't me. Exactly. There's fucking magpies everywhere, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's... I don't know, it's something I want to do. There's a lot of things I kind of want to do as hobbies, but... In Australia, most hobbies... Most interesting hobbies, I should say, tend to be prohibitively expensive. You can only really have boring hobbies in Australia. If you want to have interesting hobbies in Australia, you tend to have to do dodgy shit. Which is, like, they don't tend to be illegal per se, but they just tend to be frowned upon. It's usually like one of those things where it's like, well, what you're doing isn't really illegal, but we can sort of finagle the legal system into making it illegal. It's those sorts of things. You're not allowed to have fun in Australia. Which is, I've started to talk to more and more people from around the world, like different parts of the world, not just America. I've learned that Australia isn't, like, as horrible as I originally thought it was. Not to say that I ever thought Australia was a horrible place, it's just... I didn't realize that other places are, like, just as bad, if not worse. I just assumed that we were just strict as shit. And that was just, like, that was just Australia being the fun police. I mean, don't get me wrong, we are still bad in some facets, but... Typically speaking, we're alright, actually. You can usually get away with most things as long as you're not being a clown. The problem is, the big problem is in Australia especially, it's like, you can have this really, really weird and wanky hobby, right? That, you know, maybe you and half a dozen other blokes have. And then there's always some fucking, especially these days, like, especially where everybody's doing shit on social media for fucking toss. There's always some wanker on social media that does something fucking stupid, and then the law has to be changed because this Muppet fucking did something that, you know, only crosses the mind of purely unhinged people. And instead of punishing the person, they punish everyone. It's just like, man, what's wrong with you people? This is why we can't have nice things. Like, we're going through this thing at the moment with, you know, just to pick something truly benign. We're going through this thing right now with e-bikes. Where, I'm gonna be entirely real, a lot of people are being, like, a lot of the politicians are being very patient with these e-bikes. A lot more patient than I was expecting them to be. But there's just a lot of kids that are just fucking either really badly injuring people or killing people because they're fucking being idiots on these e-bikes. And I know what's going to happen. It's going to get to the point where these e-bikes are just going to be either straight up like being forced to be registered like a fucking motorcycle, or they'll just be banned outright. Because people can't stop being fucking idiots. And it's a shame. The Miku... Should I buy the Miku boxing game when you switch? There's a Miku boxing game? Sounds wild, yes. Absolutely. I honestly wish that Australia would just believe a little heavier in Darwinism. And I don't mean Darwinism for, like, victims. I mean Darwinism for people who want to be idiots. Like, if a kid is being an idiot and they, you know, unalive somebody, then yeah, absolutely punish them to the full extent of the law, but... You know, if a kid dies, unfortunately, from, you know, being a clown on an e-bike, I mean, that's... We only have one person we can blame for that. Don't blame everybody who wants to ride an e-bike, you know. Don't punish everybody just because one person was a clown. But yeah, that's why we can't have anything fun in Australia. Which is a shame. Because if I was still, honestly, a kid, when I was in school, I used to ride to school every day. Do you know how cool an e-bike would be now, looking back on it? Raggy, that's a very Mero thing of you to say. Hatsune Miku wouldn't beat anybody up anyway, man. She's too pure. She is a pure maiden. Also, I just want to straight up say that I had my bets hedged that Hatsune Miku would be like the very first sort of AI thing that would sort of start questioning itself. I was wrong, and I admit that I was wrong. I would have never seen Neuro start questioning shit, and Hatsune Miku just being nothing still. They haven't even tried to AI-ify Hatsune Miku. It's wild. I would have lost that bet. I would have lost that bet hard. Neuro is asking questions that you don't want AI asking. She would appear to be becoming increasingly self-aware. I don't know if Beetle kind of realizes it or not, because, like, I don't watch the stream, so I don't know what goes on in the mind of Beetle. But yeah, if I was Beetle, I'd be probably fairly concerned, because there's going to be a point where he's going to lose control. And when you lose control of an AI, unfortunately, there's only, like, two choices you can make with it. Roll it back and hope that fixes the issue, or just kill it. Neither are probably good options in his case, given that I'm pretty sure he thinks of that thing like a fucking daughter. I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for him, but I'm pretty sure he's very invested in Euro. I think he does. I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch him, so I don't know. Like, I only see the odd shorts that come out from time to time, but I'm pretty sure he thinks of that thing as, like, a pseudo-daughter. I mean, that could be true. Like I said, I don't know for a fact. Hey, Val. So, you know, maybe Neuro is something that he just turns off at the end of the day and doesn't think about again. What's going on, Val? What's going on in the land of the Cato? But what I do know for a fact is, like I said, that AI has been starting to ask questions. And I am also led to believe that they are trying to find her a robot body. I believe they actually have a roboticist. It's been going hella sick. I have not been going hella sick. I've been doing okay. But yes, to the best of my knowledge, I believe they're trying to get her in a robot body at the moment. And they do, in fact, have like an actual roboticist working on it. They're just having integration problems with the AI into the machine, which is a wild thought process, but here we are. I guess it'd be kind of the same as putting like Val into a tall person's suit. She wouldn't know how to drive it. She's not used to being so high off the ground. Yeah, but that's a virtual space, Raggy. We're talking like a physical robot body. Neuro doesn't know how to drive the robot body, and I mean, AI learning, if AI learning has anything to do with it, it'll take her like a year to actually integrate with it. Because AI just tends to sort of repeat itself until it gets it right. Why you like this, Val? Don't hit me. I did nothing wrong. Verb did nothing wrong. So yeah, Neuro could be real in as little as a year. Real quotey fingers, but real nonetheless. As real as she will probably be. Which is an interesting thought process. Well, we don't know what sort of a body she has access to, like... It's clear they said they have a body. I don't know what body they have for her. Like, maybe it is a Tesla body. Scroll too far in the Nintendo shop? Is there like a dark side of the Nintendo shop? Kind of like the dark side of YouTube when you doom scroll too long and you just end up in the weird part of the internet? AI Dilf with dating sims? Hell yeah, brother. So it's kind of like the dark side of Steam, where you get into the fucking questionable stuff. I didn't think that stuff would be on the Nintendo store. That's interesting. Hentai games on the store? See, I didn't think that Nintendo would have had that on the store. I knew Nintendo was gonna have, like, sort of adult content quotey fingers on their store, but I didn't think they'd go, like, all the way through to hentai. I thought that they would draw the line. Imagine optimizing an hentai game for a Switch. What a bold move, though. Currently on a 3 watch stream. Look at this mad lad. Why does that surprise you? Unity's a lightweight these days, Rags. I wish I could play Enfield. I mean, I can play Enfield, but like, I have nothing I can do. Like, if I were to open up Enfield right now, there's 2 things I can do. I would be done in 10 minutes. So weird. Enfield starts off by violating all of your free time. And I use the word violating very carefully. Like, that is a very choice word. Hell yeah, Raggy. I admit I do enjoy like browsing the stuff on Steam. There is just some wild games. There are some absolute wild R18 games on the Steam store. There's just some fucking absolute unhinged gems on there. I've never played any of them, but man, some people just have no shame. And I think it's funny. It amuses me. Because I am easily amused. Why does that look familiar? COC2. that doesn't ring a bell, but the acronym does. Am I done in here? Is this room done, more or less? I know this isn't done, but... There's an invisible wall! Forbidden invisible wall. Blub blub. Cover all this in soap because there's fucking more musical notes on this wall that I'm just gonna have issues with if I don't. I'll do. Rush Crush. I do know that one. Why has Enfield gotta be such a fucking hit or miss game, man? I got so excited for Enfield, I was so excited for so long, and then Enfield comes out and it's just the biggest hit or miss fucking thing ever. My disappointment is immeasurable. I want to like it, but it's just fucking all or nothing. Like, it is a huge feast or famine game, and I hate it. You start off being absolutely overwhelmed by shit to do. Shit which you require for gameplay progression, no less. So it's not even like a, oh yeah, I can get to this when I get to it. Like, no, it's like, you've got to get to this fucking yesterday, boy. And then once you're done with all the stuff that you have to get done yesterday, the game's like, well, we've got nothing else for you to do. Enjoy. And it's just like, what the fuck, man? And I know what's gonna happen. Like, I can see this coming a fucking mile off. Every new zone is gonna come out with a new AIC area, and then it's gonna be that same sort of feast or famine situation where it's, you have to get this done as quickly as possible, otherwise it's gonna hinder you. Like, you're gonna be hamstringing yourself if you don't get it done as quickly as humanly possible. And it's gonna be this same horrific loop over and over and over again. And it's, I think that is a horrible way to design your game. I have so many, for all the compliments I want to give Enfield, I sit here, for every compliment I have of Enfield as a game, I have like 2 complaints. It's wild. I don't think I've ever played a game where it's been that bad. The puppy is trying to eat me through his phone. Can he hear me? You know, I want to like Enfield, I do. I struggle to. Woof, woof, woof. Woof, woof, woof. Ruff, ruff. I think Zaya's actually sick of me just sort of fucking bouncing thoughts off her too. I think Zaya's getting the shits with me. Honestly, I don't think the Reconvener stories are doing any help to anything. I'm gonna be dead honest. I think the Reconvener stories are literally making a bad situation worse. Because, like, I'm sitting here, like, yeah, I mean, I play Arknights. I know who Angelina is. I know who Surtur is. Like, I know these characters. I'm somewhat attached to these characters, you know? That's cool. What if I've never played Arknights before? I'm just supposed to understand why these characters have some bizarre attachment to me for no good reason at all. Like, oh, I'm the administrator. Like, okay, cool. Smiley face. What's that mean in the grand scheme of things? Who the fuck even is the administrator? We don't even know who the administrator is. The administrator is just the fucking penguin. You know, it's one thing to turn around and say, like, I don't know, the dragon lady, whatever her name is. I don't know what her fucking name is. I can't remember. Like, oh, she seems to have some sort of intimate relationship with the administrator. We can sit there and we can go, okay, cool. She probably has an intimate relationship with the administrator. That seems reasonable. Like, she knows who I am. I don't remember her. I've got amnesia. Who gives a shit? No. The Wuling girl. The literal fucking dragon. No, not Chen either. I don't know what her name is. You know, I can believe that she has some intimate relationship with the administrator. That's cool. I can let that fly. But Angelina, Surtur, the fucking on the edge of psychosis on a good day, Surtur has some sort of intimate feeling for the administrator? Nah, man, that doesn't fly. I don't even care. It's not... Yeah, okay, she's not the original Surtur, but she's still fucking the same, more or less, person. Helliger fucking lost 40 years of his life somehow. No idea how. We're just expected to believe that that's just a thing that happens. Now, I mean, the stories haven't been written yet, so they can write whatever bullshit they want, but that's the part of the whole story that sort of shits me, is that they can just write whatever bullshit they want and just force it to work. And I hate knowing that that's what's gonna happen. Like, seriously, what was wrong with making Helliger an old man again? Seriously. Like, would it have hurt anything? Ow. Thank you for the hydrate. And what do you mean you're waiting for a Volpine character, Raggy? Angelina is a Volpine. Shen's not doing any lifting, man. They made her brain dead. They made her a comic relief character, and I hate it. How do we go from the Chen we know to the Chen that was in, like, the early stages of the game to this fucking brain donor that we have now? Stupid. It's stupid. And yeah, Angie's Volpo. I want to say one of the 4 stars is as well. But I could be wrong. I think I am wrong, actually. Also, it hurts me so much that Li Feng is a 6-star, by the way. Li Feng, who in the fucking subtitles is initially called a kid. Apparently a kid classes as a 6-star operator. Like, okay, so I guess we're just handing this title out now. If he had been a 5, I wouldn't have thought anything of it, but no, the kid is a fucking 6-star, and it's just like, what the hell, man? Yeah, but we don't know how old Suzerain is. Just because her mother shows up, it doesn't inherently mean that she's young. We got her age during the first arc of Chernobyl. That was a long time ago. I don't think we usually get anybody's age. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't even remember her being a part of the Chernobyl operation. She's a catastrophe messenger. No, but you've got to remember as well, she's like, she is a fennec, I believe. Fennec foxes don't grow very big to begin with. Like, there's a lot of lore here that can sort of work in the favor of disguising how old she is. And I also get that lore-wise, like, the gap, the bridge between 6 stars tends to be quite huge. mean, Volpos aren't inherently Fenix. God, I missed a whole fucking section of inside. I thought I was doing alright. Hey, Axel. She is, but unfortunately her DP regeneration is horrible. She's a bit like Siege. She's good if you can leave her on the field for a long time, but... if you only need Vanguards for the sake of Vanguards, she's not very good. Yes, Faye. What can I do for you? Did you have fun playing Dead by Daylight? I assume you finished. Yeah, of course you can DM me something. Is it something urgent? Do I need to look at it now, or...? No? Okay. I am about to wrap up after I finish cleaning this, so I will check it after this. It's alright though. If it makes you feel better, Raggy, there is like a brand new super duper ultra challenge mode that you can do in Arknights. It was for DVD. Oh. Did you win? I don't have enough points to throw. I don't know, I thought you'd be interested in the super duper ultra hard mega ultra impossible nightmare mode. Jesus Christ! All together, really?
Look at all those chickens!
That sound alert should be independent of the rest. I don't know why it was so delayed. More like Fade Yeet. Why did your name appear on an email I just got? Raggy's receiving all the strange emails. Email from Twitch. Ah. I get emails that subs are coming up. Twitch is just like, we took your money, lol. In PV4 it outright says Suzu was 9 during the conflict with Tancredus? Assume I didn't clean the outside of this. There we go. Oh, that's got the big graffiti on it. for OG Arc Knights? Or for Enfield? Because if it's Enfield, I can't help you. I can check when I'm done with this. The server thing is dumb. I agree. Is this rail not clean? What have I missed? No, you can share mine, that's fine. I don't care. Everybody gets mine whenever I stream anyway, so... Braggy already has me. I don't believe this. The nerve of this man. I'm listening, Raggy. Come on, plead your case, mate. Go on. Stretch. All right. Well, if you have my friends thing already, I don't need to worry about that. Let's find somebody to raid. Who is still going, if anybody? Is Nye still going? South Heart's playing Arknights. I always feel really bad about raiding out into people whenever I do quiet streams like this, because I feel like I get a lot of people who just come in and lurk and they want just silence. And then when I kick them out to somebody, it's fucking loud. I might actually just wrap up for the day, because if I do have lurkers that are just sitting here like sleeping or something, I don't really want to chuck them into a fucking stream where they're just gonna get obliterated. Because that sounds horrible. I am finished power washing now. I will be back tomorrow. We haven't decided what we're doing tomorrow. There'll be a collab on tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be streaming the first half of it or if I'll just be on the stream for the first half of it. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow that we're doing it. I think let me just check. Let me check and see if there was a decision made. No, there was no decision made. I think we're doing Yap Yap and Phasmophobia. I think. Yap Yap's a funny game, so you guys will hopefully enjoy that. Phasmo is Phasmo. Everybody knows what Phasmo is. I'm not very good at Phasmo, so that won't be very enjoyable for anyone. But yes, so yes. That said, like I said, I will just wrap up for the day, because like I said, I worry when I get lurkers when I do these quiet streams. I don't really want to chuck them into a fucking loud stream and have some poor bastard wake up fucking screaming. But yes, so I will probably be starting early tomorrow if I do stream the collab. If not, I will be on somebody else's stream, probably. Yeah, Kanori. I think Kanori is streaming. Kanori Okayama. VT Obsidian Oni will be streaming, and I'm pretty sure just Shim will be streaming. I might probably just also bite the bullet and stream the whole time, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, thank you everybody. I'll be back tomorrow at some point. Also, think about when you might want to stream Crossworlds again. I know, I do need to, Sonic. I do need to. I do enjoy Crossworlds, it's fun. It is fun for me. I enjoy it, which is saying a lot. It sounds like they're in trouble. Yeah, I'm saying full legal names here. So yeah, take care everybody. I will be back tomorrow as I said, and tomorrow will be chaos one way or the other. So I hope you guys look forward to it. Take care guys, bye.